Our next guests are so important. You just heard the trailer for 50/50 Flip. They got a new season, citizens. Give them a big round of applause. Give them a big round of applause.
Yeah.
We talked about this. They're promoting that second season. It's on A&E and on Hulu.
Let's go.
And what they do with their show. First of all, I want to welcome them because when I watched this show, I felt like I was talking to cousins and cousins were talking to me, and it was so timely. And I want to congratulate them. These folks have created a Renovational Wealth Academy. They have taught people the ins and outs about buying homes, renovating homes, selling homes, how to do it without a license, all right, how to save money, how to budget, how to escape the pit traps when it comes to real estate. My first experience with real estate was an inheritance I received, Heather B.
Yes.
From my great auntie Lucy, who split her home with my grandmother and I when I was a young lad. Mm-hmm. And I started learning about mortgages and how to keep up a home at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Put people in that home. I was still a teenager at that time. We eventually sold that home. The first home I bought on my own was in 1995. I'm going to take y'all way back.
95.
Come on, man.
Take
you better give a round of applause for that right
year.
there, man.
95.
1995, Krystal, I said
I love it.
King Tech, my partner King Tech and I bought a home.
Shout out to King Tech.
Together, and that's that same home, Heather, that you visited. Tracy
cooked
came
that.
to that home.
Yep.
Yep, Tracy came to that home.
Gorgeous.
Cooked that, ate that,
That's
did everything.
the first house we ever bought. Mm-hmm. That's the home that saved us in many situations when our cash flow got skinny and some jobs we lost, and we didn't know we could take a second on that home and put us ahead of the game and pay off some bills and make some investments and paid that second back, and the credit shot up.
There you go.
Right?
The
And
gift that kept giving, huh?
kept giving. I started learning more about it. I started researching and learned about why more of us don't have homes, and took us back to what happened in the redlining that was taking place in the middle century, where black folks weren't being allowed mortgages. They were circling pieces of the map where they would not give loans and lend money to black folks so they could own these properties, which has been a key essential component to people establishing what we call generational wealth. So when I see these two on the screen educating us with their family and their amazing team that look just like us, and they're sitting and going through the ins and outs of real estate, I said we gotta have them on the show. I want citizens who want to learn about real estate renovation, or if you know about it, you want to have something to offer, I want you to call up now, 888-742-3345. And let's please welcome the Polites, Krystal and Dedrick are here. Give them a big round of applause.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
What's up, y'all?
Welcome.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Happy to have
This
y'all.
is an honor to be here.
It's an honor, man.
This is
Sir.
a
We've been watching you
true
since the
honor.
90s, Sway, man. Since the 90s, we've been watching you
You've
rocking
been watching
it.
me since I bought that house?
Listen,
Since 95, man. We 80s babies. So I was born in
Really?
81, so we've been watching you for a long time, so it's an honor to be here.
Man.
I walked in, I was like, is that Heather B?
That's me. I'm here, sis. How you doing?
Oh my God.
So glad to have y'all.
Yo, well, it's good to have y'all. What's it like seeing the people you watch in person now? Here, go ahead and touch my hand, Krystal. Go
Right,
ahead.
let me go
ahead.
Oh, gosh.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. What's that feel like? You feel that energy?
It's really cool,
Look,
man.
we made it.
Yeah, we made it. Come on, y'all made it. The Polites
Mama made it.
Yo, so let me. So you guys are from the Carolinas? Where you from, Krystal? Let me start with
Originally, Dedrick and I are from Boston, Mass.
that. Okay.
So he was born in Beaufort, South Carolina. I was in where we're at now, Burlington, North Carolina. But both of our parents moved to Boston. Our mother's single parent in the 80s.
Okay.
So we grew up there. We didn't move back until 10 years ago when we decided to start our family. So we're both from up north. You know, I partied heavy in New York.
Talk your shit,
You know.
Krystal. I think I saw you at Marquee.
In the tunnel
did.
back in the 90s.
The tunnel.
Okay, D, I see you.
Tunnel.
Okay. And so you partied in New York, and then
Yes.
y'all met, and what
Boston.
happened? In Boston, and Dedrick, what you do, man? Did you approach her with an idea?
Man, we met at a gas station on Hyde Park Ave in Boston. I gave her my business card, and most beautiful woman I ever saw. And our first date was like a business meeting, right? Our first date, you know, she wasn't on some bubblegum stuff. She sat me down, was like, what's your 3-year plan? What's your 5-year plan? Are you an entrepreneur? It wasn't like, what's your favorite meal? What do you like? What's your favorite color? she got right to it, and that was
said,
refreshing
what's your
when
credit
someone
score?
asked me my.
Oh,
This
wow.
this is our
First
first
date.
date.
That's
First
personal.
date.
She got right to
Credit
it,
score.
and I was like, she's beautiful, but she also had a head on her shoulders. I was looking for a queen I could build with, and we've been building an empire ever since.
What was your credit
yeah.
score? What was it?
I was an
Like-
eight. I was an 8 something.
Oh, he was
800.
stacked.
Damn.
Had to have it very credit.
Now, full transparency. He was like, "Well, what's yours?"
Right.
You know, he's like, "Dad, you grilling me?" I said, "It's like a 540."
Oh, so you was
Right.
you was trying to come up.
But what he did was he was like, "Well, you asking me mine and yours?" I said, "Listen, because I'm building mine. I got to know if I got to be rebuilding yours as well. I need to know ahead of time so I know how to move." It didn't mean you didn't have a shot. It just mean, okay, let me see how I have to move. Because if you at a 500 too, okay, now we got to hold off on some things. That's how it is. You know,
We
so
both can't have bad credit. That's what she
Yep.
said.
That's rare and amazing.
First
Wow,
date.
damn, that's
First date,
crazy.
I think-
I like
Because
that.
Sway would have ran the minute somebody would have asked him his credit score. He would have been out. You might have paid for the food.
I might have been offended.
You would have
Like, I
been
didn't want to
out.
be defined by my credit score. I
Yeah.
felt objectified by that question, right?
Yeah, you would have been.
But I get it now.
Yeah.
Now that I understand it, that's actually kind of
makes
dumb.
sense.
I would rather someone ask me now.
Up front.
Yeah.
Put it on the table.
Let
so
me know.
you know how to move because
Yeah.
I asked him originally, I said, "Are you an entrepreneur?" And he was like, "Yeah," because I knew I could only be with an entrepreneur. I knew how my mind worked. And I know if I set myself up with someone who's just comfortable working, we're going to have friction because I need someone to understand if I say, "Hey, listen, let's go all in on this business that's $500,000, you're going to understand why I'm thinking this way. So when I asked him that, I said, "Well, what's your credit score?" So I know I'm rebuilding mine with a purpose at this point. I'm just out of college. Thing, how you get into college, get the credit
Absolutely.
card.
Right,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah. Kill
of
you with
course.
that.
Ball
Go
out.
crazy with that American Express. Didn't know it was due at the end of the month.
All of it.
In full.
In full. And he said 820, and it wasn't because he would have never had an opportunity with me. It's because I needed to know how we needed to move
Right.
going forward at that point.
So
pace.
his it could have been as low as yours, and you would have been cool with it.
I'd have been cool with
Yeah.
it.
She would have
Should've
just
rocked
moved
with
at a different pace.
There you go. Now I know, okay, now we got to do credit repair. I
Ooh.
just rebuilt mine, got everything off. Now I got to help you get yours to where we need it to be also. That's how my mindset
That's
works.
a total juxtaposition or dichotomy of the conversations that we've been hearing on social media about a guy having to take you to certain restaurants and
Right.
all of those.
Nobu on the first date.
That sort of.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Nah,
we went to
listen.
Joe's All American Grill.
That's it,
She
right
was like,
there.
"Where's your mind at? Where's your head at?"
That's
and I was
it.
asking her the same thing.
So that's important, I would imagine, before you decide to start a business with each other, just kind of find out how your minds align, right?
Oh, absolutely. That should be the very first conversation. Like he said, I didn't say, "What's your favorite food?" because I didn't plan on cooking it. I didn't ask.
Let me get this straight. She's an amazing cook now. Once
Right.
I put a ring on it and we got married, she chefs it up. But
Okay.
when we was dating, I did all the cooking.
He
Okay.
did. And I didn't care about his favorite color. I don't care about your favorite movie. I didn't care about any of that. I wanted to see what you had in you of substance. Can I build with you? Right? Did it mean we were going to build tomorrow? No. But I needed to know what direction he was going in because at that point I was laser focused on where I was going.
Do you mind me asking how old were you guys when this happened? Because I think too part of the social media thing, you see people doing this at certain ages, and you're like, oh, it gets real. Like, you can't keep this up, So what age were you guys when?
So we
you
were in
met?
our late 20s.
In your
when
late
we- when we
20s,
met.
okay.
28, 29.
Yeah, I was 28, so you were about 27.
This is my sugar mama. She's a little bit older than me.
26.
My sugar mama.
Only
a
by
year
a-
older. A year older.
No.
Killing
20
me.
months.
I'm
She's 20
4
months
months
older.
You
older
did
than
that,
my
D.
husband,
You
and
did
he tells
that.
me he with an older
Like,
woman.
wildin'.
I'm 4 months older than my husband, and he tells people he with an older woman. I'm like,
Yeah.
lies.
Really?
Okay, it's the same thing. Okay.
Really?
I see what you did, D.
No, but that's dope. I get it. 28, 29. I get it.
And
Makes
at that
sense.
point, it was when
Time
we
to-
got together, time is of the essence.
Yes.
And I was really focused on building at that point. When we got together, I said, we're going to go to counseling. And he was like, "I ain't going to no counseling. We don't do that here."
We're
I
just
said,
dating.
I'm sorry. I asked right. I asked wrong. You right. I apologize. You're going to counseling if you want to be with me. I said, I came from a single parent household. He came from a single parent household. We have never seen it done right. So we ain't gonna pretend because I love the Cosby Show. I love Family Matters. I love all good times. But that wasn't our reality. And because you had not come from a household that's seen it done right, I haven't, we need to make sure that we know how to communicate from the very beginning. So most people look at it like, oh, it's couples counseling when you get together. We weren't even 2 months in, and I said it was a requirement to date. We had to go through counseling.
And I didn't want to go. I was fighting it,
Yep.
kicking and screaming. I'm not going to sit on some couch and tell some stranger about my problems. And she was like, well, if you want to be with me, you going.
And you went, and how did it turn out?
Man, I'm in counseling. I'm telling them everything. I'm like, she does this stuff and I don't like it. And she like, I dragged you here. Now you telling this lady everything.
Yo,
we're using these strategies.
When did you guys that effectively like fall in love and start your business? Because it seems like, you know, Chris, you immediately said yes to the possibility, to the potential. When did y'all put that in motion with love and business?
Let's answer that question when we come back. All right, and we're going to open up the phone lines too, 888-742-3345. We got Krystal and Dedrick Polite are here. There's a show called 50-50 Flip, streaming on A&E, and you can also find it on Hulu. It's all about finding homes, making investments, renovating those homes and making a profit if you sell it back or you decide to keep it in your portfolio, or just even teaching folks. What I love most about this show is you can learn how to do it yourself by watching the things that they do. They walk you through their process. They have people that work for them. Sometimes they go out in the field. They find these different homes. They have their morning meetings. They sit and say, okay, now what do you got? You know what I mean? Well, I got this house. I think this shit is dope. And Dia say that's not in our sweet zone. We like them 1,000 to 2,000 square foot. This one is bigger than that.
You've been
right?
researching. I see.
Come on, man. I
see
know
you.
who you are, man. Man, I play like I don't know, but I'm the feds, dog.
I'm the fan.
You're an op.
You are out.
You're an op. I done
He's
told
op.
everybody he's an op.
Come on, Heather. I'm
The
not
number
really
one
op.
radio op. He had to laugh. I knew it.
I do know a lot, but anyway. This was to make the show so interesting. We've been talking about how you guys came together. Tracy, you asked a great question.
Yeah, because Krystal is not afraid to forecast the future out loud, and she was very direct during that first date with Dedrick, and it made me wonder. Because these are questions asking about your credit score, asking about if you're an entrepreneur. I feel like a lot of folks would do it while they're already in the dating scene. When did you guys actually fall in love, and when did you guys decide, okay, we can actually start business together?
That's a great question. When we actually fell in love is after I told him to go off. Because when we first met, I said, he was like, I want to be with you. And I said, you ain't ready yet. I said, so I need you to go off for a year, live your life. And my exact words is, go sow your royal oats. And come back in a year after you've partied, you've traveled the world.
Y'all hear
you've
this?
Slept with some girls.
That's what she said.
You done rode your motorcycle. You done went ham, pop bottles. Do that for a year, come back, and if you're still ready to be with me, then we can revisit this.
I see
It's not
jaws
even
drop.
guaranteed.
Listen, I thought I was getting punked. Because y'all know how it is, fellas. When a girl tell you to go, do you, boo-boo, right? When they say that, you like, I'm getting set up. It's a setup. That's what I thought.
What did you do?
I fought it for a while. I'm like, you don't really want me to do that.
And I really had to
fought
tell
it.
him, after keep calling. I wasn't answering the phone. I finally picked up, had a conversation with him, and I said, listen, I told you to go off and do you. I know, but I really want to be with you. I said, listen, you're not ready.
So I'm in my late 20s. I'm doing club promotion in Boston. I'm partying. I got a house. I got a motorcycle. I wasn't ready for a committed relationship, but for me, it was love at first sight. When I first saw her, I didn't believe like, oh, you'll see your wife and you'll fall in love, but that's what happened with her. I was like, that's who I want to be with, but I wasn't ready at the time for
And
that
I knew
relationship.
he wasn't ready. And I knew if I would have forced him and been like, oh, okay, yeah, you say you're ready. That's what your mouth
Which
is
a
saying.
lot of females do. They try to force it.
Yeah, and they put that ultimatum. And I told him, I said, go off, come back in a year. If you are still in love, if you still want to be with me, then we're going to revisit this. He went off finally for an entire
I had
year.
fun. I had a lot of fun.
Partied, did his thing, and we kept in contact here and there in the very beginning. He shoot me a text, and it'd be one word, oh, hey, how's everything doing? Good.
Oh,
That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, if you let him in the door, oh, you know I miss you, it was just good.
Yeah,
and
what
that
color
would be
drawers
it.
you got on right now?
That's it. That would be the next one. That would be been the question. So he went off, did his thing, came back in a year. Like, yo, I'm really ready now. And I said, okay. I was in a relationship, of course.
Off the chain, yo.
Of course.
I was like, you in a whole relationship now? This what we doing?
Nowhere in that story did y'all hear me say I was going to wait.
Nah.
I just said come back in a year.
Word.
He came back in a year. He was ready. We had a conversation. We went to
Well, hold
lunch.
on, you leaving out the part. I'm ready, so I'm trying to get back in touch, and she's ghosting me. She's not picking up the phone. She's not answering texts. I show up at her house.
Wow.
I see her car outside. She ain't answering the door. So now I'm in like stalker mode. I'm like, I know she in here. And I don't do crazy stuff like that. But when I knew I was at her door listening to see if she was breathing, I knew I was in love at that point. I'm like, yo,
Damn,
I've
you
never
were
done
literally
this.
doing that?
I've
Yes.
never done that in life. But I knew
This
I was
is a
in love.
movie. The dude that you were dating, Krystal, you asked him the same questions you asked Diedrich the first date?
Yes. I asked him. We didn't have.
It's like, wait a minute, what? I thought I was
wasn't-
one-on-one.
No, it wasn't those set of questions because I knew I was going to marry him. For,
He was just temporary.
for him,
he was
it was more
temporary.
so like, oh, what do you have going on in your life?
Okay.
Because you still couldn't be around me and didn't have any goals.
Yeah.
So it was more so general questions like, what you got going on in your life? And when he came back around and I saw we had lunch, I saw he was serious, he was ready. I said, okay. Told the guy I was with, it's been real.
She don't play.
Gosh.
And
Oh, here
it's
she
been
comes.
amazing.
Watch out, boys. She'll chew you up.
That's why I wasn't too worried. I knew that relationship was temporary.
And I build upon friendships before relationships.
Yeah, same.
And I've always been that way. So even at our wedding, I had like 3 exes that were at our wedding because we are great friends. Like I build that friendship so it supersedes the relationship if
bugging.
it ends.
Same.
You're bugging, though, right there with
No.
the 3 X's.
If it ends, right? And they were there with their wives, they were there with their girlfriends,
Okay, that's
because our friendship always supersedes the relationship once it ends. It's like we now went into family mode. That's how I've always been with all of my relationships. I just feel if we commit and spend time together and I've given you a part of my life, unless you give me something that ain't curable,
Yeah.
we good.
Right.
I don't care what you do. You ain't got to lie to me. You ain't got to cheat because we can make whatever relationship we have what we want it to be if you're just upfront and honest. And with him, he came back. I saw he was ready. I said, okay, to the guy I was with. And I said, listen, it's been real. It's been great. This is not going to work long term. You kind of knew that because I was very upfront and honest with you from the beginning. He and I got together. Right when we got together, Dedrick comes from a very affluent education background. So he's always went to private schools, some of the best universities. He had got fired from a job. And when he got fired from a job, he was like down.
I was
He
depressed.
was depressed. And I let it go on for a good 2 weeks. You know, I let him.
You let them wallow in it a little bit.
Wallow in
I
the
gave
misery.
it 2 weeks. And then I came to his house and he was still there.
Same clothes on.
Same clothes.
not
I'm
shaving.
like,
I was depressed.
I said, Lord have mercy. Okay. I said, listen. I said, F that job. The job lost you. You didn't lose that job. Don't you ever allow a job to tie your self-worth into your net worth. I said, at this point, you're going to take your time to figure out what Dedrick wants to do. What God ordained you to do is what you're about to do. Go off, ride your motorcycle, clear your head,
Come on.
and build
Amen.
from here on out. Don't worry about your bills. Don't worry about mortgages.
I had a house,
will
I had a mortgage.
hold that down.
And when
for
she
you.
said that just cemented it. I knew she was the one. She was
Yes.
like, yo, I'm like, you gonna hold me down?
She held down the bills,
The
the mortgage.
mortgage?
No, I didn't let her. But the
The
fact that she
was
said
willing,
that,
yeah.
I was like, yeah, this the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I knew there was more greatness in him than he even recognized. And I just knew it took someone to have to pull it out of him. And I said, go off and clear your mind. Figure out what you want to do in life. He went off. And within, I say, 48 hours, he had already branded himself, started his own marketing company coming off of the one he was with. He had already gotten a teaching job at Harvard.
Wow.
He had then found Airbnb at the time.
This was in 2012.
Airbnb had only been around about 3 years.
Yeah.
He had found Airbnb. He was like, yo, listen, I think we should I found this business. I think we could do it. And I was like, well, what is it? Tell me about it. He was like, oh, it's called Airbnb. People rent out your spot. Da, da, da. He's like, we could do your apartment and you can just stay here with me. And he was like, oh, nah, because your brother's living there. I said, he was. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Hey, bro, you got 2 weeks before you have to move.
He wasn't paying no rent. Bro wasn't paying no rent, so she called him up, was like, yo.
Whoa, here she comes. Watch out, boy. She'll chew you up. She's a man-eater. Ain't no female casualties in this story.
No, she was
You got
like that.
to go.
No female.
And he was like, yo, sis, I'll pay rent. No, you're like, nah, you wasn't paying rent all
You've
this
been there
time.
months, and I ain't asked to pay no rent or anything. I'm still paying all the bills at the spot. He said, listen, I got a business idea. I said, okay, hold on. You got 2 weeks, and then you got to move. No, I'll pay rent. Nope, too late. I already got to rent it. Thank you. Hung up the phone. I said, no, what we got to do? And he was like, oh, okay. Let me do a little bit more research, and then I'll figure it out. And what I was telling him was I was going to bet on him. I was going to gamble on him, and I was going to help build with him from the beginning. So it wasn't like I don't know. I ain't never heard of it. It was, I believe in you. So if this is something you're saying we can tackle together,
Right.
we can do it together. And that was our very first business together.
We were just dating at that point.
What was it called?
Y'all was still dating.
Yeah.
We were just renting
Y'all
out
was
an apartment on
dating, yeah.
Airbnb.
Started with
Okay,
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
And he's always wanted to be in real estate. Always. That's been his dream, his goal, his house. He has all of these. Thank you. All of these books, VHSs, CDs on real estate. So real estate was actually his goal, his dream. And I said, listen, if this is what you want to do, then I'm all in with you, 10 toes in.
Let's do this, because I know you only got a few more minutes. By the way, this is an amazing story. I didn't expect all of this. We ain't even talked about houses.
Talking about real estate.
Y'all need to spit on.
Well, y'all are home, man. Y'all with
Hey,
family.
we feel like family here.
Man, so, I really wanted to get to know y'all, but damn, D. Man,
And wait,
you
they
tough
were still
guy.
dating at this time.
At this
yeah.
time.
Yeah, they weren't even married yet.
Okay, we got a lot of questions. We're gonna go with what's line one's name? Ernesto, go ahead. What's your question for Krystal and Dedrick?
Good morning. How are you guys?
Hey,
Good
what up?
morning.
Good morning.
Hey, first time caller, long time listener.
First time caller.
What up, E?
Hold up, man. Hold up, bro.
Yeah.
Welcome to the tribe.
Say it out. I'm blessed to have 2 homes, right?
Okay.
I want to get a third one, but my wife wants to use our savings and our liquid cash, and I want to use equity from either home, both or just one. What should I do?
It really depends on what your goal is. I like to use other people's money. So I feel like if you can tap some of your equity, put down 25% and use the bank's money instead of using all cash, that's always good, because now you can leverage that cash you have and buy 3 properties instead of just one. So I would put down a down payment and leverage that into several more rental properties.
Did you hear that game right there, Ernesto?
Under 30 seconds.
Did you hear that game in 15 seconds? Okay, so what I want you to do is follow them on social media as well, citizens, because a lot of people ain't going to get in, and that's Be Polite Properties.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Be Polite. B-E Polite Properties on IG, all social media.
And you're a citizen. I need
sway the
everybody
money.
to follow Be Polite Properties, especially if you don't own any.
Right.
All right, well, who's line 3 right there, Kalani?
That's Cameron,
Where you calling from?
Pennsylvania.
Cameron, what up? Go for it, man.
What up?
Welcome to the show.
Good morning, family. Good morning. So, question. I own about 50 acres of land, and my house sits on about 8 of those acres. And I'm looking to expand that. I want to sublet that property. So how would, and I have the liquid cash as well, but then I have a lot of equity in my home as well. So what way would you go with starting to sublet out that property?
Well, first of all, congratulations on owning 50 acres of land.
Yeah, get that man a round of applause.
For
I
real,
always
for
say
real.
buy soil.
What's your goal with subletting it? What's your goal?
To actually just own other homes and rent them out, essentially.
Okay.
Essentially having my own subdivision on my own property.
So you want to do build to rent. So you want to build properties. You don't want to sell it off, right? You can make a nice bag by selling it, but if you develop some units and then rent it, that's where you build wealth, and that's where you build generational wealth. So I would hook up with a developer that you can partner with and say, hey, I have the land. That's my equity. Let's partner. You help me build it and then rent it long term. You may give him a percentage, 5-10% equity in the deal, but that's what I would do.
And I would also add, with 50 acres, to take in and get some capital of your own, maybe subdivide some of that up, right? Get a commercial realtor broker who can bring in a big developer who's looking to build a warehouse of some sort or something on that. They'll pay you for that portion. Now here is your capital as well, right? Giving them maybe 5 or 10 acres of that land. And now you have a couple million in the bank for you to self fund your own development as well. So that's an option when you have that much land.
Hey man, do me a favor.
Because what I did is
hold up. That part you discuss with them directly. Yeah, go bepoliteproperties.com. Be Polite Properties online. Be Polite Properties, and then you could continue this conversation with them. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
You're a citizen,
Appreciate
brother.
You,
no problem, man.
You're
Thank you for
welcome.
tuning in. All right, Carmel is in Detroit. Go ahead, Carmel.
Hey, Carmel.
Yeah. What up, though?
What up,
though? What's your question, real quick, because they gotta go.
Yes, I am interested in getting into real estate, so I want to know, is it best for me to start with getting a contractor's or builder's license in Michigan, or?
So you want to get into investing or you want to get into being a builder?
Both, because it's so hard to find someone that communicates well with contractors. It's so hard to find someone that communicates and contacts you. It'll be a month later, and then I'm hearing from someone, so it's a little frustrating.
So we always encourage folks to get into wholesaling real estate. You don't need a real estate license to do it. Wholesaling is basically being a middleman or middlewoman in a transaction, finding a highly motivated seller, getting that seller under contract for a cheap price, and then assigning that contract to a builder or fix and flip investor. Make a couple thousand, 10, 20, 100,000 doing that. Then you can get into flipping houses yourself or building and building new construction.
And then make sure you follow them. Did you want to add, Krystal?
Yeah, I would definitely say with wholesaling, just to put it in perspective so people understand the power of it, Dedrick and I, third deal that we ever did was $105,000 wholesale fee. And all we did was take one piece of paper and give it to another individual. So we sold our contract, never put down $1, never put down any equity in the deal. We got a property under contract, a piece of paper, found someone like us who are flippers, developers, sold that piece of paper to them, and we made the spread. The middle spread of that was $105,000.
We became instant cash buyers at that point.
Wow. Damn. Okay, man. Hey, listen, we're learning right here. I told you I wanted to have them up here. We got the Polites up here, Krystal and Dedrick. Heather, you asked the last question.
Yeah, because I want to talk about something that's common in a lot of families, and that's grandma's house. They reversed the mortgage in a personal situation where the mortgage was reversed, and now they owe about $475,000 with the interest that accrued over the years since they reversed the mortgage. The home needs probably another $150,000 in repairs. In your guys' opinion, is it worth saving that home? When you have when you have grandparents or aunts and uncles in these homes like this, is it worth a family member coming along and trying to buy that home and save it?
So
yes, where's the home located, would you say?
In Jersey. Jersey City.
What's the potential value? Like once it's all fixed up, what will it be worth?
It's a two-family home, so I would say each apartment you can probably rent somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 each.
Okay, so if the ARV of that home, and it's in Jersey.
You got to explain the ARV.
So
after repair value. Once it's fixed up, what will it be worth?
Okay.
Yep. So if that after repair value is almost double what you owe in that mortgage, then I would definitely say it's worth saving, right? So if after you fix it up and it's looking amazing, and say she owes $475,000, but you know the home. So like in Boston, these homes are worth 2 families, 3 families are worth $1 million off rip, and they could be a tear down, but the dirt that is with which it sits on makes it extremely valuable. And I know New York is like that also. So Jersey is like that.
In Jersey, I would say the house across the street sold for $650,000.
Was it a direct comp? for that one, was it a 2-family?
It was a 2-family, yeah.
As well.
Yes.
So that kind of gives you a clear indication of what that one would be.
Mm-hmm.
But if this is a generational home,
Don't sell Big Mama's
don't
house.
sell it.
That's what we say. Don't sell it.
Don't sell Big
Keep it in the
Mama's house.
family.
Because there are ways that you can, even with that mortgage, you can work it out where a family member can come in and purchase that home, save the home. We've done it before, and keep that within the family.
How do you stop the bleeding until that
Yeah.
point, that part happens? Like, it sounds like this is a bleeding house, you know.
Bad roof, floors, heat, you name it.
Yeah, dilapidated. What would you suggest? If this house was in your hands, what would you do?
So if it was in our hands, I would say look to family to help when it comes to the renovation.
No family.
No.
Okay. So then,
Yeah, because look at everybody
This sounds
on
like a
good
complex
times.
situation
It's
right here.
the whole family is, yeah. Just
It's everybody in our community. So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
okay.
Gotcha. Okay. So what you're going to be looking for now is funds to help fix up this house. So, and it doesn't have to cost $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. You have to get creative. So even with our flips, what you guys really see is true. We get creative. So we're going to the wholesale outlets, things of that nature, where it's a fraction of the cost versus a big box store.
Right.
You're going to want to get the capital to at least fix up the property. Even if you got to give, say, you go to Sway and be like, listen, if you give me $50,000, you can get equity into the home, right? Even if it is at the end where you're saying, hey, I have to sell it to pay people back. If you can rent it, then and rent it for maybe a year, 2, 3 years where you're building up the value in that house, you're still capturing that depreciation. That's also a great thing. Giving someone some instant equity into the home in exchange for a capital to fix it up is also a way you can go. And people do that all the time. We have private investors right now on 98% of our portfolio is all seller finance, where we go directly to the owner and we say, hey, we'll give you $100,000 for your house and give you $2,000 down, right? And we purchase the home. There's no banks involved or any of that. We go directly to the owner. And we still don't come out of pocket for the down payment because we go to someone like Sway and be like, hey, listen, you got money just sitting in the bank. You ain't doing nothing with it. You're not getting any appreciation. You give us $50,000 and we'll, in return, in a year or 2 years, when we go to refinance it, we'll give you $55,000 or $58,000 back. They've done that for every property we've ever had. So if you get a private investor that you can bring in to give you some capital up front to get it fixed up, where you can keep the house and then you turn around and you can refinance it later. There are banks that you can work with in reverse mortgage situations.
Heather, you should follow them at Be
I'm already
Polite
following them.
Properties.
We'll talk offline.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, I just want to let
We
you know
got
you.
you.
Right.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah.
All right,
good.
listen, this is amazing. If y'all
Yes.
ever come to New York, y'all gonna promise to come see us
Oh,
when
we'll
y'all
be back.
come back?
Yes.
We'll be back. It's a
Wow.
pleasure. Thanks for having us. We appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I hope you enjoyed your time with
Yeah.
us. And,
We absolutely
and
loved
as
it.
you watched us over the years or even listened to us over the years, I hope you can see us even realer in the flesh.
It's even better in person.
Thank
you. We trying not to fan out up here.
You might as well get it off, Krystal. We already know you a man eater, so you ain't fooling nobody right now. I'm joking, Dedrick. I'm joking. Your love is amazing.
Yeah.
Your story is amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you taught us about that, too.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for somebody to ask me my credit score.
Stupid.
All right, Sway.
What is it, Sway?
Stop, Tracy. All right, so Be Polite Properties.
Be polite.
Citizens follow them, and then make sure they can watch y'all where?
On Hulu, 50-50 Flip.
Yep, or A&E.
There it is, man. Good for Dedrick and Krystal. Polite.